Hello, I'm Michael from Gypsy Jazz Australia. My website's www.gypsyjazz.com.au. Just taking a moment to talk about Wegen Picks. Wegen Picks and Michelle Wegen are synonymous with Gypsy Jazz. In my first guitar lesson, my guitar teacher said to me that every player needs to own a Wegen pick at some stage. They're very popular within the style of music. And when I was starting off my business, one of the first people I contacted was Michelle Wegen, just trying to make it a little bit easier for everybody to get their hands on the imported picks, but also the luthier-made guitars that have been selling very well. Michelle Wegen himself is actually a modeler by profession, making statues for museums and the like. But he also describes himself as a problem solver, and one of the problems he said about solving was using his understanding of materials to recreate the sound of the picks that Django Reinhardt and the early Manouche players were using. Obviously, we can't get our hands on the likes of tortoiseshell anymore, and he's done a great job of replicating those sounds with the materials that he's come up with. But he's also taken up a notch by putting in great thumb and finger indents, but also slots. So the guitars have a fantastic grip, and they're very playable and really fantastic to use. Especially if you're getting into gypsy jazz music, it'll help you a lot with replicating those sounds of the early Manouche players. Just as a sideline, when I first started speaking with Michelle about the range I was importing, he recommended I get some big city picks in as well. Now these are probably more of a jazz pick, though I do know many gypsy jazz players that like to use them, including Stocklow Rosenberg, I do believe. They come in a pack of 4, and they're a bit thinner than the Gypsy Jazz picks that I think made from a very similar material. I've got this in black and white in both a 1.8 and 2.2 millimeter thickness. And sure enough, within weeks of my first delivery arriving from Michelle, I was already getting orders from them. The Jazz Guitar Society of Western Australia and their artistic director, Gary Lee, just loves them. They bought many packs off from me over just in the course of this last year. So very popular over there, that's for sure. In the Gypsy Jazz range, Michelle's most famous pick is his Gypsy Jazz pick, which is a 3.5 millimeter thickness. And that's just a fantastic pick to use. That comes in a black and white. And I've also got it in for a left-handed player. I needed to get something in for the poor left-handed player. So while I'm talking about the range that's in that 3.5 millimeter thickness, the same as his most famous Gypsy Jazz pick, I've also had a lot of requests for his packet of twins. Now this is a slightly smaller pick in width and length, but it's still the 3.5 millimeter thickness and the same shape and got the same grips as his Gypsy Jazz pick. And that's been selling very well. They're very popular, and as a twin pack, they work out a little bit less per pick than the Gypsy Jazz pick. Also in the same thickness, the 3.5, I've got the Trimmer's 350. Now this is actually a 3-sided pick, and it's a big busty babe, and you will never lose grip of that. And fantastic pick to use, and I've used that often myself along the way. Now just slightly smaller, but also very popular. I have a 2.5 millimeter Gypsy Jazz pick that comes in a twin pack as well. So that's his GP250. Now this is a little bit more flexible than the classic 3.5. And I actually quite enjoy playing with this too. It plays slightly softer. So if you've got a lot of people playing big fat solid picks, it gives the soloist a little bit more of a chance to play over the rhythm players. And so fantastic pick to use. And again, I know several players that are very well known that do play with that particular pick. Moving back up into the range of slightly thicker picks, and probably getting more into the rhythm playing picks, I've got the Fat Tone pick, which is a 5 millimeter thickness, and also the 7, which is a 7 millimeter thickness. So these are fantastic for rhythm. I do know some people again that use the 5 millimeter thickness for solo playing, but those guitars will really help you get that swoosh sound out of your guitar. And particularly for rhythm playing, you won't go wrong with those. So that's the current range of Wegen picks. Thanks very much for taking a moment to listen to me, and I'll look forward to jamming with you all soon. Bye now.